election on the platform of African Democratic Congress, ADC, to unpack his agenda for governance, reform, and sustainable development in the state. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Politics Tonight. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. Thank you for staying with us. Now let's bring you some political developments. Governor of Delta State, Sheriff Oborevwori, has called on local government chairmen and councillors across the state to take full advantage of financial autonomy to deliver sustainable development at the grassroots, prioritize security, improve service delivery, and implement people-oriented projects. Speaking at the landmark symposium of the Delta State Councillors Forum, the governor and other speakers, including former governor Ifeanyi Okowa, emphasized on more visibility and better welfare of the third-tier legislators towards strengthening grassroots governance.
Over 500 councillors from the 25 local government areas of Delta State, Governor Sheriff Oborevwori, former Governor Ifeanyi Okowa, Speaker, and other council chairmen converged on Asaba for the symposium with the theme Repositioning the Grassroots, Strengthening Local Governance for Sustainable Development in Nigeria in the wake of the local government autonomy. For the councillors, the event is a platform to highlight the challenges hindering their effectiveness and seek solutions.
Councillors are the first point of contact for the people, daily carrying their constituent burdens. Yet, without a welfare framework that recognizes this reality, councillors are overstretched and unable to serve effectively.
Commending the legislators for the initiative, Governor Oborevwori urges them and the local government chairmen to be proactive. He also addresses some of the concerns, especially councillors' welfare, constituency projects, and the 4-year tenure.
As the third tier of government closest to the people, the success of councillors contributes to the success of the state. On that issue, Agro Chairman, I'm directing you today that the councils are very buoyant. They should carry their councillor.
The Supreme Court has spoken. It's the highest court of the land. There is no other court that we can appeal to. So in due time, as a very vibrant house, we will see the possibility of aligning our law to conform with the judgment of the Supreme Court.
In his keynote address, former Governor Ifeanyi Okowa chronicled years of neglect suffered by the third tier of government and called for greater visibility and empowerment of councillors as key drivers of grassroots development.
The councillors must be empowered by the local government, by the executive arm. They must provide enough funding for the local government legislative arm to be able to oversight functions, and they must work closely with each other.
The symposium underscored the need for local government in Nigeria to be more accountable, transparent, and responsive to the people, particularly in the era of full financial autonomy. Ikenna Amechi, TVC News, Asaba.
The Nigerian delegation led by Vice President Kashim Shettima has been actively participating in high-level meetings with a focus on security, economic development, and global partnerships. This year's gathering comes at a time of global uncertainty, from conflict and climate change to food security and technological disruption. For Nigeria, Africa's most populous nation, the Assembly offers both challenges and opportunities to shape its global image.
Nigeria's anticipated national statement at the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly may be stating Africa's position and demand for inclusion in the global scheme of things. President Bola Tinubu has been consistent in demanding for a restructuring of the United Nations and a reordering of the global financial structure, because indeed the United Nations has come of age. But I spoke with the Senior Special Assistant on Media and Public Affairs to the Vice President. I asked him how strong is Nigeria's voice on the global stage.
And the truth remains that if you take into cognizance, whether it's educational diplomacy, whether it's in cultural diplomacy, sports diplomacy, whether it's in security, economic diplomacy, whatever it is you want to mention, what you have asked him. Since inception, since Mr. President took over, you agreed with me that, look, that the dynamics have changed, the rhetorics have changed. Single-handedly, he has been able to overhaul the way and manner we engage with the international community. And if you want to ask of how strong our voice is right now, then make no mistake about it. Last year, when Mr. President presented his national statement at the last United Nations General Assembly, you agree with me that, look, it was a statement that resonated with the entire world when he called for added seats at the United Nations Security Council, of which, look, he made a position, he made it clear that, look, it was high time that Africa deserved more seats, not just a seat, more seats in the United Nations Security Council.
Vice President Kashim Shettima will be representing President Bola Tinubu at this year's UNGA for the second time in a row. But does this diminish Nigeria's participation at this global event?
Of course not. When last year Mr. President made his position, it was the same Vice President who made that position clear. And as of today, that position now is not being debated. Don't forget that, look, wherever it is that Mr. President delegates the Vice President, it is automatically Mr. President that is speaking. And trust you, you've seen the capacity, you've seen the wherewithal, you've seen the vibrancy, you've seen the depth that this Vice President brings on board each time Mr. President nominates him. So, and then you can see the respect too that all nations of the world, look at how it is that international diplomacy has changed with Mr. President.
Beyond the presentation of Nigeria's national statement, some of the important issues here are the meetings on the sidelines, the bilateral talks with investors who are willing to bring in their dollars to Nigeria and help President Bola Tinubu grow the economy and move closer to achieving that $1 trillion economy by 2030. Femi Akonde, TVC News.
All right. We'll take a short break now and return for a conversation for tonight. Please stay with us.
In a world where news never sleeps, we're taking a giant leap into the future. We at TVC Communications are proud to introduce a new era in news broadcasting. But first, let me introduce my special friend, Olamide AI. Hi, Olamide Human. Is it time to come out yet? Yes, indeed it is. And you can bring your friends along. Meet our new AI anchors, speaking your language and sharing your stories. From English, good day. These are the news headlines, to Pidgin,
better country people, on a good evening.
Yoruba,
Ekaro, Ekodede Asikoni, Shedadalabayi,
Igbo,
Ndewo, Auto Innovation, Ahambu Obada Samson Ejiro,
and Hausa.
Mutane na sanar da zuwa, sunana Rakia Abdulkarim kuma kana kallon TVC News.
We are bringing the news closer to you. Faster, smarter, and always reliable. And together, we are shaping the future of news for every Nigerian, everywhere. Innovation, connection, and trust. The future of news is here.
TVC News, first with breaking news. And now first in Nigeria with AI news anchors.
Come 1st October as Nigeria marks 65 years of independence. We pause to ask a profound question. Who is a Nigerian? At 65, the question of our identity and nationhood has never been more urgent. What does it mean to truly be Nigerian?
We all have a responsibility to protect this democracy because it is the only system that guarantees our freedom.
What do we owe this nation, and what does this nation owe us?
If the citizens are not standing to hold the government accountable, if we are not raising the question that we need to raise about the kind of middle class and the kind of political class that we have today, it is very difficult for us.
Join TVC News Town Square on this conversation for every Nigerian. A dialogue that could shape our future. Wednesday, October 1 at 6 p.m.
Thank you for staying with us, everyone. Tonight we go back to Anambra State as another critical governorship election approaches. The stakes couldn't be higher, from economic development and youth unemployment to security, infrastructure, and political inclusion. The race is heating up and the electorate is watching closely. Today we shine the spotlight on a candidate who represents a new wave of leadership. His supporters say he's bold, determined, and ready to challenge the status quo. Joining me on Politics Tonight is Mr. John Chuma Uwozu, the governorship candidate of the African Democratic Congress, a party positioning itself as a credible alternative to the traditional political heavyweights. Tonight we'll talk about his political journey and most importantly, his vision for the future of Anambra State. Mr. Owusu, welcome to Politics Tonight. Thank you so much for joining me on the program.
Good evening, Jumoke.
How are you today?
Fine, thank you.
Right. So, a few weeks to the governorship election. What's the political temperature or climate like in Anambra State? How politically charged is the state? I mean, I've heard stories like it does not look like Anambra people are ready for a new phase, going by the result of that by-election. Is that true?
Thank you, Jumoke.
Thank you for joining us.
Well, the by-election, election of 16th August, left a sore taste on every Anambrarian, because what we saw then wasn't an election. It was a business of vote buying by the ruling party in Anambra State, Apuga. So if you go back to history, 2021 is only 10% of the registered voters that voted. There was a case of voters apathy. And with what happened on 16th of August, we as the opposition, the credible opposition, because we see ourselves as the credible opposition, because the current administration of Professor Charles Soludo has failed Anambra woefully, right from a high level of insecurity that see our people holding their marriage ceremony, traditional marriage ceremonies in cities, talk less of the burial of the dead. So it's the situation in Anambra State is chaotic. But with the campaigning for us, my policy is to move to every communities in Anambra State to carry my message of hope, with my 7 points agenda of good governance, which spans from represent an acronym called SHIMPS, where the first S stands for security, H stands for health, first E stands for education, the second E stands for economy, E, an environment, because if you go to Anambra State, we have a big case of erosion. And all these are man-made erosion due to the negligence of the government.
We'll get there, Mr. Owusu, in a moment. But going back to that by-election, which would you say predominantly impacted the election and the result of that election? Vote buying or voter apathy?
Both. Because like I said earlier, going by 2021 election, only 10% of Anambra people came out to vote. Now, so our people then coupled with the high level of insecurity, this time around, it's reduced. Considering the fact that 50% of the businessmen trading in Onitsha, they are now, all of them are now living in neighboring states of Asaba in Delta State, coming over every day to do business. So that insecurity has its own toll on the number of people that came out to vote. Then now coupled with vote buying. Vote buying is a kangaroo one. Absolutely. That must be stopped.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because
if the country has to move forward.
I agree with you, because many Nigerians think when it comes to vote buying, every political party in Nigeria buys votes. It only means that the party that wins spends more, and I'm sure you agree with me. But going back to Anambra politics, which is known for being intense and very competitive, I mean, we've seen it with the name calling among some candidates. How are you navigating the established political structures and power blocks in the state, and as someone from the same zone as the governor?
Well, zoning has come to stay in Anambra State. So this is the turn of Anambra South Senatorial Zone. I happen to come from Nnewi, which is the industrial center heartbeat of Anambra State. So it is our turn. It's remaining 4 years for Anambra South to produce a governor. Now, what is happening today is a case of failed government that has impacted on the people. So I can tell you, people are asking for change. People are asking for change. And I see myself as that credible alternative.
And you don't think if people are truly asking for change, they would have voted against APGA in that by-election?
There was.
Because Nigerians said that was a litmus test for ADC.
No. I'm happy with what happened that day because it has shown the agencies that are in charge of election to see where the problems are and get ready for November 8th.
All right.
So there was nobody voted for APGA. People, they kept money, they were buying votes as high as 20,000 naira per vote. Yes, it was open there. All the agencies kept quiet and whatever. Of course, I'm calling on INEC and all the agencies that are in charge of the election to do their job. First of all, voting is supposed to be a secret thing. So INEC needs to give us a clear-cut system whereby people will vote in secrecy. Unlike what happened in last by-election.
You think that would
people
help us
will vote
achieve electoral integrity?
and show where they voted and then go back to collect money.
And you think that would help us achieve electoral integrity in Nigeria?
Definitely. It's part of it. There are quite a lot that needs to be
You were not the original candidate. Patrick Obianyo claimed to have resigned because the burden of his aspiration was a lot and affected his blood pressure and had to hand over to you. But what I hear is that it was a case of the highest bidder. He had the ticket, and according to your campaign director, you're a billionaire in different currencies. Money was not a problem for you. And as they say in local parlance, money no be a problem. You had the aspiration and the money to spend. So did you buy that slot, and how much did it cost?
I can tell you that I did not part with a penny to clean the ticket of ADC. What happened was that when the Supreme Court, the highest court of the land, sent the Labour Party executives led by Barrister Julius Abure, sacked them on 4th of April. When the primary election for Labour Party was slated between me and my dear brother, Chief Dr. George Mogaro, for 5th. But around 9:30 a.m. in the morning of 4th, there was Supreme Court judgment sacking the people that are to conduct the primary. And you know what that means in law. It makes everything null and void. And as a law-abiding citizen of Nigeria, I like to do things that are straight. I have to withdraw. I withdrew from the race, because anything done by Julius Abure after 4th of April leads to nullity, So with that, a lot of other parties started calling me saying that, we haven't seen a politician that can withdraw from the race because he believes in integrity and straightforwardness. So at the end of the day, I chose to pinch my teeth with ADC.
So the question is why ADC? Because there are those who thought that you followed your political mentor, Peter Obi, to the ADC. How correct is that?
It's wrong. Big lie. Because I joined ADC long before May 23rd, when I claimed the ticket of the governorship for Anambra State on ADC. So as at then, the issue of coalition has not come into play. I wasn't aware of coalition then. So I looked at the ideologies of ADC. That was the main reason why I joined ADC. So I never knew that Peter Obi would be coming to ADC when I joined. So I was in ADC before Peter B.
So you're saying you did not pay for that slot?
Come again?
So you're telling me tonight that you did not pay for that slot, and those who had insinuated that you paid the former aspirant or the former candidate rather, telling lies?
I did not part with a dime with the aspirant.
You know, I've listened to a lot of your supporters, and you know they say your credibility cuts across demographic and economic lines. They say you represent a subtle warning to dominant political structures in Anambra, that the electorate is no longer interested in recycled promises. At one time, you were with ABGA. A year ago, you were with the Labour Party. Now you are with the ADC. So what makes you different from every other politician?
Well, my history of politics spanned down to 2010 or more than. You know, I rose to the position of Board of Trustee of APOGA. You know, and for you to be a member of the Board of Trustee of a party, you must, they must have seen something in you. You must have added value to the party, you know. And since then, I did not leave APOGA until 2022. So I don't move from one party to the other.
Why did you leave APOGA?
You know, then I resigned as a APOGA Board of Trustee and member. Why? Because the leadership of APOGA was incredible. They were not following the rules of the play.
What rules?
They were not able to conduct a credible primary election. Mm. Yes.
So you were upset. You were upset and you left.
I left. I wasn't conducting. I felt that during the election of 2022, coming up to 2019 election, a lot of people bought forms to conduct for different levels of election, and spanning from House of Assembly to Senate and House of Representatives. At the end of the day, APOGA could not conduct a credible primary election. As a member of Board of Trustees, the young people were calling me to intervene.
So as a member of the Board of Trustees, you felt entitled to that ticket?
No. I'm not talking about myself.
Because there are those who have said you left because of your personal ambition. If it was about the ideology, you would have stayed back in the party.
I only participated in the primary election of APOGA in 2013. After that, I never vied for any election under APOGA.
So now you're back
It's on record. I never. I don't have voting ambition.
So now you're back to contest for the governorship seats. And a lot of persons are asking, must you become the governor of Anambra State? Why not become the senator? Why not our House of Reps member?
The only way I can impact on the life of Anambra people is by being a governor. I've seen, if I wanted to be a senator, I would have contested.
You don't think you should start from your constituency?
No. My position, I am in politics because of necessity. I have seen things are not working well in Anambra State. Otherwise, I'm an IT expert for the past, IT entrepreneur for the past 32 years. I'm the proud owner of JetLink Limited, an IT company. So my coming into politics to contest as a governor now is because of necessity. Anambra State has failed. The current administration has failed. The economy of Anambra State has gone down by 50%. In fact,
I hear you, Mr. Owusu, but you know, you elderly people would say charity begins at home.
Yes.
And whatever you think you can offer the people of Anambra State, why not start from your constituency, from your zone, Anambra South Senatorial District? Why must you be the governor? But I'll let you answer that question when we come back from this break. This is Politics Tonight, everyone. Please stay with us.
Stay ahead with the biggest news stories. Go beyond the news headlines. Experience impactful investigations. Enjoy resourceful news coverage in real time. TVC News at 7 and TVC News at 10 p.m. Live every day.